So, for these two videos, I'm going to be talking about Attacker. Though I am doing about 6, but just these two videos, I'm going to be talking about Attacker. And when it comes to US Power Metal, Attacker does get brought up quite a bit, especially on the forum that I go to. So, Attacker were formed in 1983 under the name Warloc before changing their name. And when they did, they did have a track also featured on one of the Metal Massacres with the song Call on the Attacker, which does appear on this album. So, they did get signed to Metal Blade, so keeping the tradition of talking about Metal Blade bands after talking about Bloodlust, Nasty Savage, and Tyrant. So, they released their debut in 1985 titled Battle at Helm's Deep, and let's just get right into the music. Of course, this band's theme is definitely... They're one of the few US power metal bands that actually have a bit of Dungeons & Dragons feeling. This is definitely before the European power metal bands really took on this style, this idea of lyricism, and before they really took it to the lengths that it did. So, but Attacker does it their own way. They do it the US power metal style. It's definitely Americanized. Now, the album definitely starts up with the Hermit, with the intro that definitely gives that Dungeons & Dragons feel. It's definitely got that epic fantasy, atmosphere, that feeling to it before it goes into the song itself, which definitely lets you know that you're going to be in for a ride. This song is definitely good with Jim Mooney's guitar work and Pat Morinetti's guitar work as well, that twin guitar attack. But then you start to also hear Bob Mitchell singing, which Bob Mitchell has his singing. If David Wayne didn't, if David Wayne had was like considered a helium-based singer because of his vocal style, Bob Mitchell takes that to the next level. At times, kind of sound like Udo Dirkenschneider on helium, but definitely this guy also just adds overall atmosphere to this album. He definitely has that feeling to it. He just turns up the music a bit. It's like just making it feel more iconic. But then we get to the Wrath of Nevermore, which keeps it going. Definitely also with a little bit of acoustic guitar kind of playing in it as well. This is definitely a good track nonetheless. Keeping that Dungeons & Dragons feeling a bit. That fantasy, style going. And we get to Disciple, which is a little also kind of slow a bit, but still is very good nonetheless. Downfall. Downfall is where we start to hear a bit of the aggressive side of Attacker, but still is a very good track nonetheless. It's definitely, yeah. Then we get the Slayer's Blade. Wow. This song, when I first heard this track back in 2010 through the Vibration of Doom site, this is definitely how I first really started to listen to more of Attacker at that time. But when I first heard this track, wow. This riff, the way it just everything about the riff, Bob Mitchell singing, even some of the riff progressions on this track. This is just a fantastic track and one of the biggest highlights off this album for me. It's like every time I think of Battle at Helm's Deep, yeah, I'm having trouble singing because I had to fucking retake this video quite a bit. So every time I think of this album, I think of Slayer's Blade, and of course we're gonna be talking about two other tracks that also makes me think of. Battle at Helm's Deep. God damn, I'm fucking up. But this is just a really good track. Really one of the best songs off of this album for me. And of course we get to the title track, which is definitely keeps it going. It's definitely still good. Yeah. Then we get to Kick Your Face. If Downfall showed the band's aggressive side, here they really just show more of their aggressive side. This is almost at times a thrash metal song in a way. This is just a really aggressive track. And which it does, just like the title says, it's what it does. It kicks your face in. The riff, the aggression, especially Bob Mitchell showing more of his, emotional side. When I mean emotional, I don't mean like, a soft side. He's showing his fucking pissed off side. Definitely, this guy's showing more of his range. And of course, we go to Dance of the Crazies with this song. The way it starts off kind of reminds me how Insanity by Tigers of Pantang starts off with the screaming, the yelling, or even like how the Writ started off of Black Sabbath Sabotage, or even how Am I Going Insane, the end of that track, just with the screaming and yelling. This is how Dance of the Crazies starts off with, before it just goes into the riff, which is a fucking ripper. This track, to me, is a face ripper. This is just a really, really good track. Everything about this. Really one of the best songs off this album. Then we get to Call on the Attacker, which ends the album nicely. It's like, right when you're done wrapping a present, it's like a gift. It's like, it's just the bow tie on the gift. It's like, done. Just a fucking great way to end the album. With that, really solid album, and definitely one of the best albums from this band. But where would this leave Attacker? Changes was about to come. So with that, if you have heard Attacker's Battle at Helm's Deep, what are your thoughts? If you have any thoughts, you can post your comments down below. This is Heavy Thrasher saying I'm out, and it's time to get to the second and last album by Attacker that was released in the 80s. Not their last album in general.